Hi, everybody. This week I am beaming to you from my dining room. And as you can see here, I've got a couple of paintings that I really love over here. This one over here, I did myself. And it's been a long time since I painted. I started out school as a painting major, but there's a little image of me up there in the clouds on a bicycle, which I really love. Oh my gosh, my cat's coming over. Get off the table. And over here is a painting from my oldest friend, actually. We met when I was an infant and he was two. So, yeah, there you go. Cool. So this week you guys have some tough work ahead because you will be drafting a paper this week. It's in the genre of an academic essay, and I know this is the kind of genre that gives a lot of people the hives when they think about it. So I really don't want you to freak out about it too much. There's some stages before you have to be done with it. There's some support that's available to you guys. And I think it doesn't have to be that scary because, frankly, academic essays are highly formulaic. And once you figure out that formula, it applies to history papers and psychology papers and sociology papers. And my cat is coming back again. Hi, I give up. You sit on my lap. Okay, cool. So, so yeah, let me tell you about what you're doing this week. You guys, either some of you have already done this and some of you are still waiting to do this, but you'll submit a document to the D2L assignments tab that has three potential texts that you're interested in maybe analyzing for this assignment. And just as a recap, those texts could really be anything. You can choose one of the commercials that I had you guys watch for this assignment so far, or if you want to, you can choose a different commercial. You can choose a poem. You could choose a bumper sticker. You could choose a button that somebody has on their shirt. It's pretty wide open field. My recommendation to you, though, is to choose a text that matters to you. It doesn't have to be a great text or anything, but choose something that you have a lot to say about. And you know, one way to find a lot to say about something is to pick something that annoys you. So if you feel like, you know what, this commercial has always gotten on my nerves, you feel like you can rant about it a little bit, that might be a great text to choose. I'm just saying. All right. So for this week, I want you to think about those three texts that you chose. If you end up hating each of them, no big deal. Pick something else. But my recommendation to you is to choose one of those texts and then go to page 32 in your textbook. It is the page that I showed you guys last time where you have this handy dandy template for rhetorical analysis, right? So you will, figuratively speaking, put your text right here in the middle of this page and answer the questions around it. And so I've got some examples of what that some of those questions are, and some things to really focus in on D2L in the content tab for Module 2, Lesson 3. So choose a text. Take a look at page 32 in the textbook. I've also uploaded a couple of helpful things. First off is the assignment sheet for the rhetorical analysis essay, which I recommend that you reread. I also recommend there's a handout here called Academic Essay Structure. And that one is just like a basic breakdown of what an academic essay looks like. It is the formula itself. So I definitely recommend using this. And so the way that the sheet is set up, and I don't think I've got it on paper, unfortunately, I'm just looking through my stuff right now. But it's set up so that you've got an inverted triangle at the top that kind of brings you down to your thesis statement. So you've got your hook and your background and your thesis statement, and it tells you how to assemble your thesis statement based on the three main ideas that you came up with for your body paragraphs. For the body paragraphs, it uses an acronym MEAL, M-E-A-L. So M stands for main idea, E stands for evidence, A stands for analysis, where you kind of explain the evidence, and L for linking back to your thesis statement. So it does that in each of the body paragraphs. And then at the conclusion, it's got a triangle, and you summarize the main idea of what you came up with in your paper, and then you kind of synthesize, you bring all of it together, and you talk about why is this significant. Um, Cool. So that's the basic breakdown of the way that handout works, and I recommend using it. It's a template. It's a guideline. So plug in your information there and use that template to guide your draft. Because, like I said, it is the formula. It's exactly the formula. So use it. So once you go through that, and I've got some more explanation and more detail about these different steps, but once you've done that, you've got your draft. So plug in that information, and then write sentences all the way through, and then that's how you kind of build your draft out of using that handout. You'll post your draft to the discussion board by Wednesday evening, and pardon my language, we are going to read towards the end of the semester an Anne Lamott piece called Shitty First Drafts, and that's all it's about. It is about shitty first drafts. So what I'm asking for you guys to do is just a shitty first draft. Do the best. It can be like not really holding together very well yet, but getting your ideas down on the page is really what this first draft is all about. Get them all out there, organize them as well as you can, use that template as a guideline, post your draft to the discussion board, and then I'll tell you, I'll assign you a draft. Each one of you is going to be assigned to a specific student's draft. I'll assign you that draft, and so you'll know by Thursday morning who you're supposed to be reading, and I'm going to have you do a peer response on that draft. This is going to be more formal peer response exercise than just posting a response on the discussion board, although you're still going to post this, but I've got a specific exercise for you guys to do. If you look on the content tab in Module 2, Lesson 3, you'll see the exercise that I want you to do is called Peter Elbow's Movie of the Mind. Read through it, and there's a 5-step process for doing a peer response that's really neat, and it probably looks really different from what a lot of you guys have done for peer response before. I really like this technique a lot. It's kind of weird, it's a little funky, but I think you guys are going to like it. It takes a little getting used to, though. But anyway, so I'm going to have you guys do a formal peer response, which just means following through those 5 steps. Post all of that in a discussion post in response to the student that I assigned to you. And then that's your secondary post this week. So it's just the one, and I want you to take a decent amount of time doing this. So if you're used to doing a secondary post and you're kind of like, oops, kind of do it at the last minute for 15 minutes or something like that, this one's going to take a lot more time. I want you to be a little bit more thoughtful about it and like really put in a lot of effort so that you're really helping out your fellow classmates, and it really helps you out too. It's a really great technique for writers and reader writers, right? That was one of the most confusing sentences I've ever said. So that peer response is due by Sunday, and then I'm going to have the final draft of this rhetorical analysis. I'm going to just have you guys do that for Sunday the 11th. So that'll give you time to kind of digest this information, do whatever other passes you need to do. It'll give you time to maybe contact the Online Writing Center through Red Rocks, and I'll post a link to the Online Writing Center on our D2L Module 2 Lesson 3 little section. So that'll give you time so that you can, get some more feedback, do a little bit more work on it before you're done. But I really look forward to reading these drafts. You guys have been just a fantastic class so far. Let me know if you're running into any problems, if you are having any trouble with this assignment. It's quite a lot to do all at once, but I think you guys can do it. And like I said, don't get hung up on making this a great first draft. It's supposed to be kind of crappy, right? It's a rough draft. It's supposed to be rough. Great. Well, get in touch if you've got questions. Fantastic. Have a great week and stay safe. Stay warm. It's been pretty darn chilly. I don't know where you guys are, but here, here in Lakewood, Colorado, we have quite a bit of snow and ice, and it's been a little tough to get around. So hopefully you guys are staying warm and having fun. And yeah, I will post another video next week. Take care.